As a gardener, it can be easy to become overly focused on plants, forgetting that the plant choices we make can provide so much more than just beauty. Plants, particularly native plants, add so much value to our local wildlife. Birds in North America are in big trouble. I want to learn more about how us gardeners can help. So let's spread our wings and visit a local bird expert to see what we can all do to help our declining bird population. Henry runs Wild Birds Unlimited in Danvers, Massachusetts, and today we are fortunate enough to visit his wildlife garden that he recently installed at his home.
Hi, I'm Henry from Wild Birds Unlimited in Danvers, Massachusetts, and I'm here to show Matt what we've done with our yard. My wife and I moved in here almost exactly 2 years ago now, and when we moved in, this was all lawn. And I'm in the bird business, so obviously birds are really important to me, and this yard was frankly kind of sterile. There wasn't much going on in regards to birds. So what we wanted to do was plant a lot of things to help them feel more comfortable in the yard, provide food. So we had a gentleman come in and we seed sliced and put in a whole bunch of native grasses, and that was last spring. So it was really important to us to get a bunch of bayberries in here. Number one, we like the look of them. This will stay, it's not exactly an evergreen, but it will keep its leaves through the winter, and then in the spring they will fall off and new ones will come up. But the berry was what was important to us. So we also planted an oak, and we plan on planting some more oaks. Doug Tallamy talks about these being a keystone plant. There's something like 264 insects that attack this tree, which at first blush you say, well, why would I put that in? Well, because those insects are going to bring in birds. The birds are going to eat their insects. The vast majority of birds are feeding their young insects. It's dramatic what we've seen. Just this past weekend, we now have ravens coming to the yard, which they're not particularly common around here. We've had tree swallows nesting, as I mentioned. They've headed south. We had golden crowned kinglets. We had red-breasted nuthatch this weekend. We had a brown creeper this weekend. We had a peregrine falcon. And then on that Austrian pine, a great blue heron landed in the top of that. We've also, over the winter, we had a snowy owl that would land in that same tree and hunt in the field. Bird feeders are about bringing the birds in so you can see them well. A bird house, birds need houses to nest in. Certain birds like the tree swallow, bluebirds, nuthatches, titmice. So bird houses are really important, but a bird bath is a really simple way to make a big difference, particularly this summer because of the drought. Now this particular one, we've put it here because this tree is so close to it. And when a bird gets wet, they can't fly well. So if you are planting, keep in mind that if you could put a bird bath near what you're planting, you're gonna get more birds to the bird bath. And when a bird is splashing around in a bird bath, it's pretty fun to watch. And I mentioned my son earlier. This weekend, the red-breasted nuthatch was in this tree, right on this branch, going after the pine cones. And he was standing there pointing to them, all excited. So it was really neat for me. I didn't have to take him to Disneyland. It's right here in the backyard for him to really find some enjoyment with birds. And birds aren't just a visual interest. They are a canary in the coal mine. When we don't have these birds, there's a reason. Everything's connected. And these birds are eating insects. They're eating, as we talked about with the oak tree, they're eating the insects that attack the oak tree. They are keeping insects in check. If we don't have birds, we're gonna have huge problems in regards to insects. So if we consider mice and things like that. If we have owls and hawks around, they're eating the mice and the rodents that are an issue in our neighborhoods. So you really shouldn't be using poison to control any sort of rodent. A birdhouse would be a much better route to go, or an owl house specifically. An owl that's nesting will eat 1 rat a day, and there's no rat trap that's going to catch a rat every single day. But an owl is out there doing it and taking care of it safely, and they're actually quite beautiful at the same time. These red-breasted nuthatches, they only come down certain winters, basically when the pine cone crop fails. So up in Canada. So we're having them now and lots of them. So my guess is that things are not good. They probably had a drought like us. So they're all over these trees. And we've also had crossbills in this yard, which is a really interesting bird. Their bill literally crosses over, so it looks like they're deformed, and that allows them to reach in between the lobe and the pine cone and pull the seed out. So this here is inkberry, and you can see, I think this is a really pretty berry. But this makes a good substitute for something like a boxwood. So a boxwood has a really nice form to it, so it looks nice around a patio or something. The berry comes out at the right time when the bird needs it. So those bayberries that we talked about earlier, the seed, or excuse me, the berry is there when they start migrating. Here we have a high bush blueberry, and I think, I keep talking about the birds and butterflies and how they benefit from this. But visually, I think this is stunning, and we do get some blueberries from it. But I think this is a stunning color coupled with our aster. So our home, we wanted it to look like or stay looking like a typical New England home with, your foundation plantings, and we didn't want the neighbors to say, what are they doing over there? We wanted that compromise. And we still have plenty of lawn to enjoy our yard, to, play games with our son and do the things that you would do with a lawn. If we all do a little bit, we will have a huge impact ultimately. So no matter how small that space is, I think you should consider going native, because it is going to make a difference.
To learn more about how you can help birds, be sure to visit Henry Hall at Wild Birds Unlimited in Danvers, Massachusetts. To learn more about native plants, be sure to check me out, Matthew Martin, on my Instagram or YouTube channel at Restoration Horticulture.